Hi, and welcome everyone to this short introduction to our new track and trace service. This new track and trace service will be launched at the same time as we go live with Navis N4 on the 2nd of October. And this will give you as a customer to search for basic information about containers or about bookings. So I will show you how to access this in the future. So if you go to our webpage, this is the Swedish version right now. You go to Kundportal or Customer Portal, and in the English version, you go to Portals. And under each of these, you will find Track and Trace. So if you press Track and Trace today, you will find a site where there are currently just some information which you can happily go in to read and see what's up with the Track and Trace service. And you will also be able to go directly to the Track and Trace when it's launched on the 2nd of October. Right now, you will not get anywhere when pushing this link, as you can see. So, but if we move on to the actual Track and Trace, it will look like this. And you can search for empty containers, export containers, or import containers, of course. So if we start by looking at an export container, I will take my example here below. You enter the container number in this top box, and then you press go. It will then bring you to this window instead, where you get some basic information about this specific container. You're also able to search for a new container from this window by entering the container number here and then pressing new search. So if we look at this TCKU, you will see the unit number, of course. You will see the line operator. In this case, it's Maersk. And then you will see the type Arch ISO, and this will say that it's a 40HC. And then you will see the time in a bit of a different format. So it's the year, and then the month, the date, and then the time. And then you will actually see the weight of this container and the seal number. And then you will see the category. And in this case, it's an export container, of course. And then we have the visit state, which is active in this case. And then you have T state. And for T state, you can actually look out for 7 different kinds of T states. And I will have them listed here in the video as well, so you can see them. And this is where you want to look if you're looking for an example, if the container is discharged when we get to the import. But in this case, you will see that this export container is in the yard. It could be in this case that it can be inbound, for an example, and then it's incoming and we have verified that it's arriving. So that for the export, that could be one case, for an example. You could also see that it might be loaded, and then it could be loaded to the carrier, the vessel, or a rail, a train or something. And then you will have the freight kind, which is full in this case. You have FCL for full, and then you have LCL for empty. And then you have the goods location code, which is more relevant to an import container, and we will take that shortly. And then you have unit impediments, and it could be that there's some form of hold on this container, and then that will show here. And also stop road, that is more relevant to import containers as well, and we will take that up when we try and search for an import container instead. So let's move on to the import instead then, and we'll do it from here since that's possible. We enter the container number and we're after, and then we press new search. And it will actually bring up this import container instead. So it's the same basic information. We have the unit number, the line operator, type arch ISO, and in this case it's 45 wide high. And then you have the time in the same format again. You have year, month, date, and time. And then you have the weight, the seal number, and you can see here in the category that it's now an import container. This container is active in our system, and it's currently in the yard. So here we will once again list these different types of statuses that could be for the T state. And what you will have to look out for if you're interested if this import container is discharged, for an example. Right now this is in the yard, so it will be available for you to pick up, of course. And then you see your freight kind again, and this one is also full. And then for everyone that works for an import department, the goods location code in this case and the BJS number, you can see here, in this case, it's just an example, but that will be available for you here if that's something you're interested in. And now we come to unit impediments, and these last two is really important for an example, truck drivers, and also if you want to know if it's actually ready for pickup in the port. So unit impediments actually shows if there are some form of hold or permission that is needed before the container is actually ready for pickup. So in this case, this container has something called a line perm, which is the import release. And then when you actually have a customs perm as well. So this is not custom cleared yet in the system. This means that this stop road is true, which means that it's not available for pickup. If stop road would have been false, it would have been ready for pickup, and then most likely there wouldn't be any unit impediments at all here. This would be empty. So for a truck driver, it's really important if it's stop road and it's true, then you can't pick this up. If stop road is false, it's available for pickup. So let's move on to the actual bookings instead. I will go back here to the initial page or the start page of the track and trace. And instead of using the container number box, we will use the booking number box down here. And I will make sure that export is checked right now because I want to search for an export booking. So let's enter the number I have here and we press go. Here you will see that you will get the booking number, which line operator this booking is connected to. You will also get the vessel visit, the actual visit number of this vessel that we have registered in our system. You will get the vessel name, in this case it's Maya. And you can also see the vessel phase, which is inbound in this case, so the vessel hasn't arrived at the port yet. You can also see that in this case, there's only one container booked on this booking, and we actually already received this container as well. So receive complete is true. And then it's full containers again, and then we see that it's actually a reefer in this case. Reefers is true. And then we see the required temperature for this reefer, which is 10 degrees Celsius. And then we can see also in case there are hazards on the booking, this will be true. And then you can see which hazards there are, but in this case, there's no hazards. So that's the export booking. And you can also search for another booking here in this case if you want to, in the same way as we did with the container. So if we go back again to the starter page, we now want to search for a release or an empty release. And then we will just tick this box down here, which says that we're now searching for release instead. And then we put a release number. And then we press go again. and it will bring up some information about this release or EDO, equipment delivery order, as we will call them in Navis. So you can see here that this is connected to mask again, and we have a quantity of 1 on this release. We have not tallied out any containers on this release yet. And therefore the dispatch complete is false. And if there's reefers connected to this booking and there is a required temperature registered, you will also see that here. So that is basically the information you will be able to get from the track and trace. And this is what most customers will use. If you are an operator, a line operator, or a container owner in general, you will be able to get access to your containers and bookings via our customer access. But if you only will get access to read information, this will be the first stop for you as a customer. So I hope this short introduction has helped. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us on navis.support@port.helsingborg.se, or just call us and we will try and help you the best we can. Thanks a lot.